Hey guys, I just thought I'd jump on the stream because I went and saw Venom last night, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it while I was still conscious of it. So I'll just say, hey to everyone. This is just an impromptu one because it's already 6:30, and I spent a good 10 minutes making that thumbnail. Just doing a bit of stupid masking. I know it looks terrible, but I just thought it'd be fun to make. So I'm just going to jump on and just pop out the chat and say hello. And a big welcome to NDT TV Clips Reborn. He is one of our YouTube sponsors, so thank you very much for showing up. You'll see his name in the chat, highlighted in green with little Grant Egghead thing right next to his name. And anyone who's going to bed, I apologize that it's late. It's really early here. If there was any point where I could get on at nighttime, I totally would, guys. But generally, that's after I put my son to bed and I'm absolutely exhausted and I just want to spend some time with my wife. Someone just said Joy said it's 1 a.m. here. So I'm just going to pop out this chat window and head back. So what I wanted to talk today was just about what I thought about Venom in general. Look, I went into that movie with zero expectations. Like, I've just seen that it absolutely crapped on by critics and a lot of people alike. And I gotta say, it wasn't too bad. It certainly wasn't the greatest movie of all time, by any stretch of the imagination. One thing I will say is that I thought Michelle Williams, who is generally a fine actress, was absolutely awful in this movie. Like, her acting, one, she didn't have any chemistry with Tom Hardy at all. But I don't know, there was something about her performance that just irked me. It just came off as really, really like someone was acting, you know? I don't know. It just came off as really, really fake. I just didn't buy her in. Well, I know she wasn't. She was supposed to be a lawyer in there, and I mean, she didn't do a lot of lawyering. But, I mean, Tom Hardy said in interviews that his favourite 40 minutes of the Venom movie is still on the cutting room floor. Because I think they were actually going for an R-rated movie originally. And I can kind of see that. Look, I reckon the biggest criticism I could level at Venom is it feels like a movie that came out 10 years ago. Like, when comic book movies were really getting going, it feels like it belongs in the same universe as the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Realistically, it does. Because it just goes along that same theme. But, I mean, for those of you who have seen it or haven't seen it, I'm just going to go ahead and just say, it's not even a spoiler, sorry. It is not even a spoiler. That it annoys me that Sony has done this again, but they put the ending of the movie in the trailers. Why? Why do they do that? That scene where Venom confronts the robber in the convenience store. It's in the trailers in its entirety. And that is the last scene of the movie. Why do they do that? They did that with the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and they did it right here again. I don't understand that at all. Like, why would you do that? I will say that we have been spoiled action-wise with the movies in the last, with comic book movies in general in the last 2 years, and going back to action scenes that are in the dark between black creatures, like the fight scenes between Venom and Riot were really poorly framed. because you could never see what the hell was going on. And look, I still enjoyed it overall. Look, I walked out of that theater thinking, well, that wasn't too bad. That was it. It was sort of like a early 2000s comic book movie. Like it really felt like I was watching, an early 2000s comic book movie, like one of the first ones. J Cam says, "Love the thumbnail, you nailed it." Thank you very much, dude. I know it's cheesy as all hell, but you know. Now there's Jolt Central there saying, "My God." Yeah. So overall, I didn't mind it because I wasn't expecting it to be very good at all. If I watched that on a second view, like when it comes out like on video on demand, I'm probably gonna not like it. I love the interplay between Eddie and Venom, but I mean, I still didn't really like Tom Hardy's performance as Eddie Brock. I liked some of the comedic parts, like when he went into the restaurant and he was freaking out. But sorry, I'll just address the Sock Studios. Yes, you can get Cinema 4D for free if you are a student. There, you can actually apply for that. So there is a Cinema 4D Student Edition, which is actually the full version of Cinema 4D, like a standalone version. It's not Cinema 4D Lite, it is the full version of Cinema 4D. You can get that for free at the maxon.net website. So yeah, yes, I do think that it was an R-rated movie that Sony cut the balls off. Because I think there's a better movie in there. Whether they bring out an R-rated director's cut, I don't know. But it's a weird thing with the director Ruben Fleischer, because I really like Zombieland, which was like his big debut, and he hasn't made a good movie since. He made Gangster Squad. He made that terrible movie 30 Minutes or Less. He's made a couple of other ones. But, yeah. Big welcome to our other sponsor, Max Parker. He's coming in with the Dexter emoji. How you doing, dude? Guys, if you do want one of those sweet highlighted names and you get to use the My God emoji, you get to use the Dexter emoji, there's a few of them, just hit that join button down below and you'll get access to all of that. I should let Max Parker know and our good friend NDT that your exclusive sound effects pack will be out next week. There's NDT with his with 3 My God emojis. As far as I know, guys, apart from a trial of After Effects or the Adobe CC Suite, I don't think there's a free way legally that you can get the Adobe Suite. Kevin Parker says, "Do you like Back to the Future?" Of course. Back to the Future is a fantastic film. And I'm on the fence, but I think I prefer Back to the Future 2. That's a tough call, though. But I mean, I probably avoid Back to the Future 3 more than anything. I think it's still a fine film, but I don't go out of my way to watch it. So yeah, I did like the Venom movie, but we've got ourselves a new sponsor. Welcome, Jigar Shah. I hope I have not completely butchered your name, but welcome aboard. You guys see that green banner? Welcome aboard. Yes, Steph, I did see Kingsman. The first Kingsman is a fantastic film. The second Kingsman is a god-awful garbage fire, which I pray... I wish it never existed, because I hated it. Absolutely hated it. It took everything I loved about the first Kingsman and took a big steaming crap on it. Yes, I agree, Jigar. I think this is essentially YouTube's version of Patreon. Realistically, they actually said that to me when I went to the Google headquarters. They said, "Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much Patreon." Captain Sting. Yes. I'm. Whoa. Crazy Anime with the super chat says, "Can you say this? I am, uh, I am mad at Chod. I really hope that that's not something terrible." Now he says his name's Crazy Anime, so I'm just thinking, mad at Chod. I have no idea what that is. Technical Sword says, "Why am I sleeping when you're live streaming?" Well, I have a finite amount of time where I can actually stream. Okay, don't say that. Okay, so... Oh, okay. Well, then I won't say it. Oh, really? That's what that means. Well, that's terrible. But true. Geordie says, "Do you like the movie Robocop? Because I know the maker of it." Are you talking about the remake or the actual, like, 80s version? Because the original Robocop's friggin' awesome. Yes, I did confess. I did. J-Cam says, "If I could tell you how many times I've said, 'My God, I know you'd be impressed.' I'm sure I could." I'm sure I'm sure I'd be very impressed. So yeah, someone's asked where's my top from. I bought this from a store called JJ's. It was like $10 on sale. NDT TV Clips Reborn with the super chat says, "Teleports behind you. Nothing personal, kid." So yeah, I was so glad when I walked into the store and that these were on a yeah, these were on a rack. It was funny because I had Dexter with me at the time, so I couldn't actually try it on in the change room. I just was like, whoop. Galahad the Knight says, "Have you seen Baby Driver?" Yes, I have. That movie I loved it. Absolutely fantastic. I just like Edgar Wright movies. That man can edit a film like nobody's business. Oh, good. So Geordie knows Paul Verhoeven, the maker of the old film. I am a big fan of Paul Verhoeven. I'm probably saying his his name terribly wrong. Some of his movies, I should say. Some of them. One thing I will say, I really did like Hollow Man. I mean, a lot of people don't, but I like that movie. I think it's awesome. Emsky says, "So I have this 10-minute superhero movie that I made last year on my channel, but it's not possible for me to enter the 100k short film competition." Yes, you can't enter it if it's longer than 3 minutes. You could hack it down if you really wanted to, but I'd probably advise against doing that. If you've got a movie that's 10 minutes long, don't hack it down to 3, because you'll pretty much kill it. Ended Heat Clip says, "I made a reverse flash running away effect thanks to you." Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Anytime I can... Someone says, "Hey, I've watched one of your tutorials and I've made something." Couldn't be more proud about that. Draki says, "Will there be a Strike 1.3? Yes, there will be. I'm working on a Strike pack that has no glow on it. So it's the entire original Strike pack, but I'm removing all the glow from it, and then I'm going to upload a tutorial on adding the glow back in, not using Saber. I'm actually embracing Crimson Wren's because his lightning is procedural that's made in Cinema 4D, and then he adds the glow in After Effects. So it's pretty much just white lines, and then he adds the glow afterwards. So One of the biggest issues we have with the strike pack is when people shrink those lightning layers down. When you add glow on top of, when you shrink those lightning layers down too much, they get cut off. The glow gets cut off, and you have to mask around them. So if we actually remove the glow entirely and add the glow back on top later, there won't be that glow cut off issue. So that's something I'm working on. I know I've said I'm working on this, I'm working on that. Everything is a work in progress until it's actually up on the channel. Galahad, yes, you can enter with a trailer. If you're confident and you're happy that it's a good quality trailer, then yes, by all means enter it. Edward Morris says, quick question, what slider can I see in the background? It looks like carbon fiber. Yes, it is. That is actually a carbon fiber slider. That's my iFootage X2 Motion. I'm going to be shooting the Shazam transformation effect in here today, I think. I tried to shoot it outside yesterday with Dexter, but it was an absolute disaster because he's 2.5 years old. He will not stay still, and he kept chasing the dogs up and down my backyard. So I wanted to get a tracking shot of him walking down the path to the studio, but he would not. He just wouldn't do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film a tracking shot of me sitting on the couch and then turning into him. So it's going to be a moving shot that I've programmed into the motion tracker there. So basically it's going to go from right to left and turn around a little bit. And I'm going to shoot that, and then I'm going to shoot with myself sitting on the couch, and then I'm going to shoot one with a pass with Dexter. And so we'll combine those two together in After Effects, and that'll be our Shazam transformation effect. Now, this won't necessarily, you don't have to have a motion control rig. It's just, I'm in a position where I can't physically shoot this thing if I'm in the shot. So that's why I use the motion control rig whenever I have to use any sort of camera movement. You need to work at Marvel Studios. Yes, there will be a Venom effect. I am working towards that. The Star-Lord helmet effect, honestly guys, I want to get back to it. But I've got a couple more episodes before I can. Yes, Draki, you will need the Dust Waves Volume 2 for the Shazam effect. What I might do is I'll hit up Rodolphe and Joe at Action VFX, and I'll see if I can get a 720p version of one of the Dust Waves for the tutorial. That way you guys will have access to that. It'll be a 720p downsampled version of it. But in the tutorial I'll probably be using a 6K version of that dust wave. Sorry guys, there is a lot of stuff piling up in here in the chat, so I'm just gonna Kinsel says, what's your favorite hobby in your free time? Free time? I don't have free time. A couple of people asked what my thoughts are on Flash Season 5. I watched the second episode of Season 5 yesterday. Look, it wasn't a bad episode. I didn't mind it. It was awesome to see the villain at work, because that guy just absolutely kicks their ass. And I did like the fact that they've gotten rid of Cynthia's... Oh, is her name Cynthia? Joe's partners... Oh, they got rid of her stupid powers, which never made any sense. And I liked the speech that Joe gave Barry about teaching excess. I still can't get used to that. And the fact that she keeps using the word shui. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. They've taken the cheese down a notch. And that episode wasn't padded at all. It had actual plot elements that moved the story forward, which is crazy for the Flash. Ronnie, that word is banned in my streams. No shui, okay? She said that more than one time. Oh god, why did I say that? That's the worst thing you could possibly say. Alright, Steph's just going to keep spamming this. Mission Impossible Fallout, best Mission Impossible movie ever, right? Look, I tend to agree with you, except I went into Mission Impossible Fallout completely forgetting about Rogue Nation, and I had no idea who the villain was. I didn't know, going into that movie, that it was a direct sequel to Rogue Nation. So when he showed up and there's supposed to be this big reveal, I had no idea who he was. Because I'd seen Rogue Nation once on like a video on demand or something. So I was completely lost there. It's a fantastic movie, but that made it a little bit impenetrable. If I was to pick a favorite Mission Impossible movie, I'd have to say, like, just walking out, I'd say Ghost Protocol was probably my favorite Mission Impossible movie. But I think if I watch Rogue Nation and I watch Fallout, I'd probably lean more towards Fallout if I had that additional information of what happened in Rogue Nation. Yeah, sorry, Captain Singh. I'm actually evaluating all of the entries for the 100k short film comp, so you're not going to get an automatic reply when you submit an entry. I've actually got to take the time to go through them all, and I haven't had a chance to do that this this week. Yeah, I'll just address that really quick from Sungmin's stuff, and that was Woody Harrelson appearing in the end credits of Venom as Carnage. I don't know about that. I think that they're really just reaching. I don't know if they're going to make a sequel to Venom. It's made a decent amount of money, but this weekend will really be the indicator on whether Venom actually gets a sequel or not, because it's got to have legs. I didn't think it was the greatest post-credits scene, but it's kind of like that that scene at the end of was it Justice League that had Lex Luthor come back? Like that credit scene was they were on par with each other. I think it was a nothing thing, and you kind of look at it and say, there's nothing. If nothing comes of this, I'm not going to be completely disappointed. And yes, Woody Harrelson did look ridiculous in that wig, Jacob. I haven't. Green Arrow said, do you like Arrow? I absolutely could not stand that last season of Arrow. I thought it was pretty bad. But I'm willing to give it one more chance because, look, I just think Stephen Amell's a great guy. And I'm just looking forward to them actually making a great season of Arrow again. Because I really liked the first season of Arrow and the second season, and I kind of haven't really enjoyed it since. Cheetos TV says, can you doing an Arabic movies? Probably not, dude. Let's see. Luke Cage is a big up for the Dragon Ball t-shirt. No, I haven't seen any Dragon Ball Super episodes. JCam says, gotta say, your tutorials help me a lot, and the fact that you're engaged with your audience like this is great. Cheers from Scotland. And yes, there are 3 dogs behind me. Aquaman title effect, please, from Technical Sword. I'm not sure I'm going to be doing that many title templates in the future, guys. Mainly because I've asked a few times on the stream, and I think you guys would prefer me do actual effects versus the title templates. They tend to get middling views versus, you know, the actual effects episodes, which get much better views. No, I haven't met any other film tutorial channels like Film Right or Production Crate, because they're US based. I'm friendly with Tobias from Surface Studio. We only live a couple of hours away from each other. But we want to collab, but it's just trying to find the time. But look, I'm going to have a bit more of a chat with the fella that I know that has a really awesome rigged 3D Venom model, and hopefully we can get an effect out in the next couple of weeks. I might end up having to buy that model from him. I'm not sure about that though. Now, Todd Jason Film says he's decided to switch from Blender and start learning Cinema 4D. That's awesome. I think that Cinema 4D is probably the most accessible of the 3D programs. Andre Sol says, any tutorials using ZBrush? I've never used ZBrush, believe it or not. So yeah, I won't be doing a tutorial on it. Technical Sword's asking, what is my job? He probably asked this a few times. Well, at the moment, my job is YouTube at the moment. So I'm doing this stuff, and I'm looking after Dexter pretty much full time. Sorry, I'm just gonna scroll up because there was a lot of stuff. Now, Raiders Play says, who is the best Flash villain? Well, that's easy. If we're talking about the shows, the Reverse Flash, I'll say Season 1 and The Legends of Tomorrow Reverse Flash were by far the best villain in the Flash Arrowverse. Roel Van Clavern said, could you do a Fantastic Beasts trailer? I really want to know how to edit some magic. I actually saw the Fantastic Beasts trailer. I don't know what it was about. Sorry, I don't know what about it sort of didn't do it for me, but I really didn't come away from that trailer thinking I've got to see that movie. Danny Dixon, look, the trailers, they show a lot more of the action than is actually in the Venom movie. A lot of it's just Tom Hardy walking around looking sweaty, mumbling to himself. That was one thing. I don't even know if I really like Tom Hardy's performance as Eddie Brock. He kind of, I don't know what he was going for, but he just kind of sounded awkward for the entire movie. He's like, you know, this is about a bit. I don't know. Look, I like I said, I like the interplay between Venom and Eddie, but the film around him was just, yeah, it was like an early 2000s comic book movie. Like we've moved on. We've had better comic book movies, and we've had tons of them. Yes, Panji, I am planning on doing a ghost effect from Ant-Man and the Wasp. But Jacob, I will still say I walked out of the theater enjoying Venom. It's definitely not a perfect movie. And yes, Ahmed, I am planning on doing some effects from Venom. Although I will say, I didn't really think the effects were top notch in Venom. In fact, the Venom creature himself, in some scenes, looked great. But in a lot, he really didn't look fantastic. I mean, I know he's supposed to look like a big sort of wet creature, but yeah, some of the shots, especially the ones where he was interacting with Riot. I mean, Riot looked not great at all. But I mean, how do you how do you actually render a creature that doesn't exist that's supposed to be all, you know? One thing I will say is I liked the effect of the symbiote just, you know, going along the ground sort of thing. Like, he looked really good, just as like that swirling mess. Now, let's see. Arkanox Gaming said what webcam to use. It's just a Logitech thing. I don't even know what it's called. I've had it up on my computer for God knows how long, and this is the first time I actually used it. Now, it wouldn't be a stream without one of these. There we go. Now, Draghi says the film was made for $100 million, which is cheap for the amount of CGI for that movie. Well, yes and no. Like, if you look at movies like District 9, I mean, that movie has flawless CGI, and that was made for about $30 million, I believe. It is possible to have great CGI in a movie that's lower budget. I just think that, look, it's Sony, you know. And yes, Galahad, that was funny. Like, the interaction between Eddie and Venom was funny. It was just, there was a lot of stuff around there that the movie surrounding those two characters just wasn't that great. I mean, yes, you had that Steve Jobs style guy trying to push the boundaries, but I mean, they didn't really flesh out his motivation as why he wanted to do that. I mean, they happened upon that comet, and they happened upon these symbiotes. And then he's sort of rushing into human trials. Like, they didn't really explore why the bad guy was the bad guy. You know? It was a weird thing that the bad guy's motivation, it really didn't make a lot of sense. And no, there was not a different actor for Tom Hardy's Venom voice. That was actually Tom Hardy's voice. Apparently, he recorded those lines on the day before they started shooting. And then he'd have a little earwig in his ear, and they'd play them back to him, so he was interacting with his own voice. So they were playing them into his ear. Ronnie's off. He's going to get some sleep. Thanks very much for showing up, Ronnie. As always, love to the family. No, Crazy Anime's apologizing for the super chat before. I don't mind, dude. It's all good. That was funny. I had no idea what it meant, so, and it was nice that people explained that in the comment section. Yes, MJ Spud 97 has also said that, yeah, Venom was supposed to be 40 minutes longer. I don't know if I would enjoy a 3-hour Venom movie. Oh, there goes my stomach. Adira Kessler just wanted to mention that his name is pronounced Adira, so I'll remember that for next time. Sorry, there's tons of stuff here, guys. Yes, a MCU crossover Venom is definitely off the cards. I think if Marvel would have to do a whole movie arc, like a Spider-Man movie, in order to do any Venom any sort of justice, and I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon because they have firm plans in place. Whereas, if you check out the channel Midnight's Edge, they go through the whole development process for Venom, and it's very, very interesting. Now, Stout Devant said, "Can you make a Venom voice?" I did already do a Venom voice, although I might do a remix on that because I can do it. If I do it in Flux Audio, I think I can get as close to the Venom voice as humanly possible. But I'm pretty happy with the one I made in Audition with no plugins. Adira says, "I hear that DC is better at TV series than movies. Do you agree?" Yes and no. Because there's a lot of DC TV series out there. You've got Titans, you've got Gotham, you've got all the Arrowverse. They're more successful at the TV series, I'd probably say. Because as far as I know, they haven't had any TV series cancelled. Oh no, they have. Constantine. But yes, if I was to remake the Venom voice, I would need a plugin called Ikram Tracks Flux from Flux Audio. But the Venom voice that I have put up on the channel requires no plugins. Danny, I have not seen the Spider-Man Far From Home leaked footage, and I probably won't check that out. I'd just wait for the trailer, honestly. Technical Sword saying, "Watch Aldo Jones' video." Did he... Oh, he made a Venom video, didn't he? Yeah. What do I think is better, Tom Hardy on Venom or Bane? I'd say Bane, hands down. Because Bane actually... Bane had a presence that Tom Hardy's Venom didn't really have. But, I mean, that's all down to the script. I thought the script for Venom was not very good. It just felt like it was kind of... I don't even know what to describe it as. Like, a lot of people in defense of Venom have said, "Oh, it's just a dumb popcorn movie." But it could have been so much better, because the Venom / Eddie Brock thing is a really complex relationship. And I'm guessing there will be a Venom 2 if it makes more money than it has now. Like, I might jump on and just check out. We'll just go on to Box Office Mojo. And I'm just going to check out the box office receipts for Venom. Okay, so in 11 days, Venom has made $144.9 million in the US. And worldwide it's brought in $381 million. On a budget of $100 million plus marketing, it has broken even. But it'll need to make about... I'd say it needs to make about $100 million more before they'd warrant any kind of sequel. But then again, the fact that it opened to... what was it opening weekend? $80 million. I'd probably say that Sony's already developing a sequel as we speak. And hopefully, because this thing's made some money, they'll actually give the director and the writers a little bit more leeway to make a cooler movie. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Cheetos he's off, so I'll see you later, dude. And yes, we are going to make a Venom effect. No, I'm not on Messenger or WhatsApp, dude. This is why we have the live stream, so I can interact with you guys. Luke Cage said, I've been watching you since your Flash running naked video. I, I had underwear on. But how would you create a CGI sequence using motion capture? Depends on what you mean by CGI sequence. Rulson, I probably will be making some procedural lightning. I've got to talk to Crimson Rens and see if I can get a hold of his lightning emitter that he's developed. Him and his team have developed in Cinema 4D, and I might be able to create some new strike layers with that. Kinsel says, do you know about Video Copilot Web? No, I don't. Giga says, my best April Fool's video was the Hulk effect teaser. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. I did enjoy doing that. I wish I had lit it better, though. But yeah, overall, I like the symbiote tendril effects in Venom. I really did. That first scene where he beat up the guys, which is also almost exclusively in the trailers. So I think all the best scenes in Venom are actually in the trailers. But yeah, that scene where he's beating up the guys when he first realizes, look, here's the thing I will say. After watching Venom, I could say that there is a better Venom movie out there, and it's called Upgrade. Because that handled the idea of another person in their head controlling their actions so much better. So much better. Yeah. Albert Huberg says, can you make a Wizard with a tutorial in the future? Look, if I nail the CGI tornado, totally. Galahad the Knight says, you better check out Video Copilot. They have it. Dude, I know who Video Copilot is, but you're saying they have a web? I'm guessing you're saying they have a website. So, yes, I'm aware of videocopilot.net, and I am aware of his, all of his plugins. Adira is off, so enjoy the rest of your day, dude, or enjoy the rest of your night. I'll probably be finishing up as soon as Dexter wakes up. Draki says, how long have you had the green screen behind you? That green screen has been there. Pretty much ever since the studio's been built. So, how long have I had the studio built? I started building it in 2009. I don't know if I finished it for at least another year after that. No, Galahad, I've been using Video Copilot plugins for a very long time. In fact, I use Saber almost exclusively for the strike packs. And I've used his Color Vibrance plugin. I've used, even before Saber came out, I was using his Lightsaber preset version 2. Alright, can't speak. I think I need a drink. Ahmed says, when to expect a Venom Effect video? That'll depend on the dude that I'm talking to that has the 3D Venom model. So I can't give you an exact date on when that's going to happen. According to me, this is Gigar on the. He's saying, according to you, what is After Effects missing? I'll tell you what After Effects is missing, and I said this to an Adobe rep when I was at VidCon. After Effects needs spell check. That would be the. I know it seems like an inconsequential thing, but that would really, really help anyone that does motion graphics or subtitles in After Effects that just misspells something. I don't know why Adobe doesn't put spell check in They don't have it in Premiere Pro, and they don't have it in After Effects. Damn Son says my opinion on Constantine. The show or the character? Because I really like him in Legends of Tomorrow. I think he's going to be an interesting foil for the rest of the team. Okay, Technical Sword. You're just going to keep spamming that, so love you right back, dude. Just, you know, no homo. What do I prefer for animating Cinema 4D or Maya? I've never opened Maya. I'm far too scared to open that, so let's just say Cinema 4D. Natalie last name says, have I ever thought about going to San Diego Comic-Con? Honestly, no. It just looks way too crowded, and I don't do well with crowds. VidCon's honestly the only event that I've been to that's even remotely like that. Sketchy Tapes, I have no idea who the villain's going to be in Spider-Man Far From Home, and I'm not going to look into that whatsoever until any kind of trailer's out. Damn Son is talking about the Constantine show. I watched a few episodes of it. I can't remember a hell of a lot about it, honestly, because that was a couple of years ago. I don't think it had that great an impact on me. I didn't think it was a bad show, but I don't think it it came in Fox, didn't it? It was on the Fox network, so, I mean, they never give anything a chance. Technical Sword, I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that one, because that's it's kind of a creepy question, especially with the emojis. Andrew Soul says, what do I need to upgrade my AE, because I have 2015 and want the new one? I'm assuming that you don't have the legal version of After Effects, because you wouldn't be stuck on 2015 otherwise. I don't think you need anything different. If you're on CC 2015, you should be able to run 2018 just fine. Oh, it was on NBC. Stephanator asks, how old am I? Well, what's the date today? It's the 18th today, so in 5 days I will be 38 years old. Kinsel says, have you ever expected so many subscribers? No. I was chugging along with around about 100 subscribers, and I was really, really happy with that. And then people started really watching the Reverse Flash episode of Film Learnin. Like, Film Learnin was doing okay, but not great. I was getting featured on the screwattack.com website every now and then, and I was slowly sort of gaining a following. But it wasn't until that Reverse Flash effect, which I still maintain is nowhere near my best episode. It's just it's a middling effect. I thought nothing of it. But that blew up, and then my Flash running tutorial, which people still watch to this day, that blew up. And I just started doing more Flash effects, because that's what you do. When something on your channel takes off, you capitalize on that, and you just blanket it until the momentum runs out. But here's the thing, it kind of didn't run out, because I just kept going and going and going. Roll Van Clavern says, are you ever going to change your intro logo? I'm not entirely sure what that means, because our logo, my logo has changed several times over the years. Giga says you should do an updated Flash running effects. Yeah, I want to, but it's a work in progress. Like with a lot of these things, I've seen other folks that have done it better, mainly Crimson Wrens, and I'd need to collab with him. Because I think it's important that if you see someone that does something better than you, you've got to ask them how it's done, and you've got to work with them. because there's only so much as an individual I can do. So, and that's a great thing about filmmaking. It's a collaborative process. So, it's been me for the longest time, and I think it's about time that I started talking to other people and getting their input. Andrew Sol says, "How old are your dogs?" Peg, the little one up the top that's sleeping on top of them, she's 7. And the other two, well, they're actually brother and sister. And they're 3 coming up on 4 years old. Trolley says, "What are your thoughts on Infinity War if you've watched it?" If I hadn't seen Infinity War, do you think I could possibly be unspoiled at this point? Excuse me. I loved Infinity War. The best part about Infinity War was the ending, where you realize that this movie wasn't about the Avengers. The star of the movie was Thanos, and it was his hero's journey. I think that was the most fantastic way they could have played that. And how often... It's probably the best villain that I've seen in any movie, as far as a comic book movie is concerned. You understood why he was doing it, and ultimately you kind of empathize with him. Because he went through a lot to achieve his goal. At Sam Studios, we will be working on a Venom transformation effect. And yes, we will also be working on a ghost effect soon. Novik Ite says, "How did you learn to make effects?" I watched... when I started, there was not a lot of tutorials there. So we started with the Adobe Classroom in a Book, which I absolutely hated. I cannot learn reading from books, but there was a great emergence about 10, 15 years ago of video tutorials online. And that started really with Video Copilot, and then onto YouTube. When YouTube started up, people started uploading stuff there. And it was really just studying those sort of things and really just experimenting in After Effects to see how you could do stuff. And I'd have to say that I started doing that again when I did the Ant-Man and the Wasp title effect. I was trying to find a good way of doing the ghosting, and you can see in the last 2 episodes of Film Learnin where I've used that CC wide time. That was just me farting around in After Effects. It's thinking, okay, how can I do this easily? And I just kept opening up the different effects until I found one that worked. So that was just pure experimentation. So yeah. I don't know if you know if that was an answer. What gave me the idea to name the channel Film Learnin? Well, I thought that was sort of a play on words. I'm deliberately misspelling the word learnin, and I sort of came up with that catchphrase, learning you some filmmaking and learning you good. And that's mainly because I thought it was a funny thing, because I mean, learning you good is terrible grammar, and that was kind of the point. Using that one that one phrase to tell you everything you need to know about the show. 1, doesn't take itself seriously. 2, trying to have some fun, but we're still trying to teach you something. Any tips on compositing from Arthur Tav? Get your lighting right. If you're compositing anything into a scene, your color balance and your lighting have to be on point, otherwise it looks terrible. I've seen a lot of people do some really bad green screen, and it's because they didn't either match the lighting of the scene they were screening into, or the coloring. Oh, looks like 9A Films is on the scene. I'm assuming that it's very, very late where he is. Andrew Souls says, have you ever used Element 3D? Yes, I have a couple of times. I'm not a fan, and it's mainly because I don't like the 3D lighting in After Effects. I find it very, very hard to work with. And what time is it here? It is 7:22 a.m. And Dan the Blast is on. He's coming to the scene. Welcome, son. Welcome. Opinions on After Effects 2019. I haven't noticed anything different at all. In fact, I'm just going to check and just see. I probably haven't updated it yet. No, I haven't updated it yet. So, Luke, that's probably why it doesn't... why I haven't noticed anything different, because I haven't updated the damn thing yet. I'll do that when I jump off screen. Jump off stream. No, I haven't tried any Dutch candy. But yes, Shane is correct. If you have Cinema 4D, you really don't have to use Element 3D. Although, if I am going to recommend a channel that uses Element 3D a lot, I would recommend... Oh, I've drawn a blank on what his name is. Oh. Crap. Alright, I'm just going to quickly look him up. That's very embarrassing. I think it's Jacob Dalton. The guy has some fantastic tutorials, and he uses Element 3D quite a bit. Jacob Dalton, yes. He actually won the Film Riot Thor competition. But yeah, he's got some great tutorials using Element 3D. Sorry, I'll just jump back to my window. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Max. One quick question. Hey guys, if you have actually I'd encourage you to head over to Twitter and follow the blast. Dan, can you put your Twitter handle in the chat? Because he's just asking me about his Black Siren 3D model that he's been developing in Cinema 4D. I've been watching the development of that, and it looks fantastic. Now, guys, if you want to see an awesome 3D model that Dan's working on, I believe it's his very first model in Cinema 4D, which blows my friggin' mind. He's been hanging out with with Crimson Wrens. Yeah, just check out his Twitter just there, and you'll see that. It looks amazing. Dan, can you tell me what game you found that from? Because I know it's an extracted model from a game, but I wasn't aware that there was actually any Flash games out there. Besides the one that Techosaurus is working on. Deserve Meme Trash says hi from Chile. How you doing, dude? And Anikek Shukla says, can you make the Shazam effect? That's what the that's what the motion control rig is for. I'm actually going to shoot something today if I can get Dexter to stay still. I was just saying before that I tried to shoot the actual moving shot of Shazam, whoever the kid's called, turning into Shazam, but I could not get Dexter to stay still and actually walk and hit the mark that I needed him to hit. So what I'm going to do is set up a motion control track, and I'm just going to shoot it on the couch there. So it'll just be me transforming into Dexter, or maybe the other way around. Hey, Jaden's up. Oh, Max Parker with the $1.99 right there. That's a very nice super chat, dude. What does this button do? I will never get tired of seeing that Dexter emoji come up. I just made that on a whim and I think it looks hilarious. Okay, it looks like Technical Swords changed his name to YouTube and said within 2021 you've reached 2 million subscribers. Congratulations in advance. Yes, alright, thank you very much, dude. I'm sorry I've been ignoring that, but you've just been spamming the absolute crap out of it. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, got this at JJ's, dude. And seeing as though you're an Aussie boy yourself, you might be able to still get one. This was only $10 too. Yeah, JJ's. The 3D model is from Hidden Agenda PS4 game. Hidden Agenda. I'll have to look that up because yeah, that's a really good 3D model. Ah, Jaden says he's wearing the Film Learnin shirt today. Brilliant. And by the way, guys, if you head to the filmlearnin.com website and click on the merch, there is a bunch of Film Learnin shirts for you to check out. We've got the Mark Guard shirt, we've got the YouTube Salary shirt, we've got a couple of different Film Learnin logo shirts. So if you want to pick one of those up, go for it. Or if you do want to also support the channel in any way, shape or form, you can check out the Patreon, or you can just hit the join button below if you are so inclined. Adrian asks how you can import a 3D animated character in After Effects. Well, that is actually possible. What I'd encourage you to do is just head over to the channel and check out the 3D stunt, CGI stunt double series. I've got a 3-part series there, and that will show you how to import that 3D animated character into After Effects. We're lucky in this day and age that you can actually import 3D models directly into After Effects. So if you've got an animated 3D character that you've, say, animated in Cinema 4D, you can just import that directly into After Effects and render it out in After Effects. Sketchy Tape says, got any tips on a beginner using a Sony Handycam for an action film? Not really, dude. I mean, it's a Handycam. I'd probably go with a found footage sort of thing. It's been a long time since I've used a camcorder. Okay, Technical Sword, you can lay off with the spamming, dude. I'm trying to read the rest of the chat and it's getting increasingly difficult. Arthur Tab says, how do you match the lighting of a 3D object to the lighting in your scene? Well, the best way to do it is to put something, like, get your shot set up, get all your lighting done, and then bring something into the scene that you can easily, like, say, oh, what have we got here? Like, I've done this before, just bear with me a second. If you're bringing a 3D character into your scene, get something like this. See, this is just... I'm just going to move that chat window over. This is just a styrofoam mannequin head. But bringing that into the scene, you can now see where the light source is. And you can easily ape that. So if you bring some sort of stand-in into your shot, just so you can see how the light reacts with it. See, all the light you can see is from the back, and then we've got a little bit of light on the screen. So that's the easiest way to do it. Sorry, someone said it's super creepy, so why wouldn't I just do that? Rudy's movie reviews has just joined on. No, we were just talking about the Venom movie. I haven't got to the Venom effect yet. As I said, I'm working with a guy that has an awesome 3D model of Venom. So hopefully we can work together. I haven't talked to him for about a week. So hopefully he's still up for either sharing his model, or perhaps I can buy it off him. Oh, excuse me. Or I might be able to collab with him. Either way, I'm hopeful that we're going to get something working with the Venom effect. Vinsky asks, can I do some kind of competition with my channel? Dude, we're a month into the Film Learnin 100K short film competition, which has $3,500 of prizes. You probably should go back to the channel and just check out a couple of those videos, because we're right in the middle of a short film competition, which still has a month to go. Yeah, I just want to address something in the chat. Anyone who's submitted a film to the Film Learnin short film competition, I've still got to go through and approve a whole bunch of entries. It's probably going to take me hours to do, but because I'm the only person that's running the damn thing, it just takes ages. So I will get to that. So anyone who's entered, if you haven't got anything back, yeah, just be patient with me there, because I'm still trying to make the show at the same time as run a short film competition, and it's always a pain in the butt. 9A Film says I typed 3 comments. Well, everyone just say to Technical Sword, just please stop spamming the chat, because it's really hard to answer people's questions. Yes, Kinsel, it's very hard to create a complete rigged 3D character in a short amount of time for a YouTube video, which is why I'm actually hoping to outsource this one, because I don't have the skill to build a 3D character, especially one as complex as Venom, which is why I was looking for someone online or a model online that I could work with. What? Yes, the Venom effect will be done using Cinema 4D. Sorry, let me just scroll up. Okay, so 9A Films was just saying that he's going to do something with, he's working on a 3D model of me. It's actually in the Flash suit. If you dude, why don't you chuck your Twitter handle down in the chat there, and they can check that out for themselves. Either that or your Instagram. Either one that you're comfortable with, chuck that down in the chat and they can check that out. Good night, Technical Sword. Look, I don't mind talking to you, dude, but just slow down on the spamming in the chat, just so I can address everyone. I don't know why, but Martin keeps asking me to say Iran. Draki says, is it possible to convert After Effects face track points to your Gideon face? The Gideon face is actually rigged using Mixamo, and it was a face that I developed in Adobe Fuse, so probably not. I just freehand did that thing. Okay, Ahmed just asked me to update the news on those who arrived late. All we were talking about earlier in the stream was, apart from answering all these, we were just talking about the Venom movie and what I thought about it. Which was, it was okay. Okay, yes, I have seen the promotional poster for Elseworlds. I think it looks hilarious as well. I don't even know what to think about it, honestly. Deserve Mean Trash says, What about the teeth? I'm assuming he's talking... Oh, the teeth of Venom. I thought the teeth on Venom in some scenes looked great, but in some they looked so fake. Like in some scenes, Venom looked fantastic. In others, he looked like he was half done. It was so weird. Shuzi says, want to sub, but there's an error code. If I want to pay, can't find a working solution on Google. I'm sorry, dude. I don't have a solution for that either. Well, if you get in that error code, I mean, you can... Yeah, I don't know what to do. Crimson Wrens and Uways from Red Alert have joined the chat. Ah, thank you very much, dude. Yes. It's even got the... It's got the back. So yes, hang on. If I take that off... Oh, look. It's Krillin.
I don't know about that, Goku.
I better put my beanie back on before I get killed by a random villain. Uways, I'd say if you can get a cheap like matinee show where you're not paying full price for the ticket, check it out purely for the novelty, but I will tell you that the ending of the movie is in the second trailer. You're not missing anything if you don't see it, but just for, I don't know, just for posterity, you could check it out. Okay, Martin says, I'm so handsome. Jesus. No, I'm not. Draki says, wow, how high can you get your voice? Oh, God, I don't know. I can do a lot of different voices. Although I tried to the other day on stream, and that was after randomly last Friday I did like 3 different streams, and the last one I was trying to do voices, and my throat was just so raw from talking for hours on end that I was just screwed. Max Parker is asking what my thoughts are on Adobe Dimension. I have not seen anything apart from a couple of posts on Twitter about Adobe Dimension, so I've got to check that out. I wish that they'd actually expand, rather than bringing out, say, Adobe Dimension, I wish they'd expand Adobe Fuse and put more 3D scan models, put more 3D scan clothes in there, so we could actually make more models. Like, it seems very, very limited to what you can do in Fuse. Which sucks because, like, if you've got a character in a T-pose, doesn't matter what they are, you can import them into Mixamo if they're an OBJ or an FBX file. So you're not limited in Mixamo, but you are limited in Fuse as to what you can actually dress your character. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, they don't have a T-shirt in Fuse as something you can put on a character. A T-shirt. That just... Sorry, that's a different tangent. That could just kind of piss me off, that's all. Sorry, I'm just reading up. CDF Studios is going to sleep. Good night, dude. The Blast says he knows most of the Savitar monologues, and sometimes my friends start to cry when I talk. Okay. What are the specs on my PC? I've done an episode on my PC. You'd probably have to, yeah, check out on the channel, because I couldn't tell you the specs off the top of my head. Do I know how to put lights in After Effects, like track them? I'd probably have to... Can you elaborate on that question? Draki says his dad's going to sleep, but he's staying. That's it. Fight the power. Go strong. People are asking. Shivy says, are there any Harry Potter effects in the future? Michael Almaderis. Sorry, yeah, there probably will be some Harry Potter effects in the future. I've just got to find time to slot them in. Michael and Menderes says, could you fix the arrow effect? What's going on with the arrow effect? I'm guessing the media file link's down. So I will have to actually check that out and fix it. The Blast says, do you have have I planned to do the cicada voice effect? Did he talk? Oh yeah, he didn't. He said one thing in the first episode. But did he say anything in the second episode? I don't remember. I guess I could do it. Yes, you probably did hear Dexter in the background. Let me just check the baby monitor. Yeah, he's waking up now. So, Captain Ice says, how come a lot of your templates don't work in CS6? Because CS6 is 10 years old now, just about. And I work in Adobe CC 2018, and it's not backwards compatible to CS6 anymore. The furthest you can save back in Adobe CC is Adobe After Effects CC 2013. So I can't physically make my templates in CS6. Hell, I am sorry about that, but that's just what happens. CS6 is getting too old to save things into. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing, but a lot of people are still working on a 32-bit system with CS4 as well, and I can't make effects for CS4, and I can't. A lot of the effects I can't make for CS6 because it's honestly it's just too old. Seb Flynn Film says, just got here, what did you think of Venom? You know, once we get off stream, you can check out the archive, but I thought it was okay. And you can hear Dexter's talking. Okay, Dexter's currently being a frog. He's saying ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Yeah, Captain Ark, I'm not the hugest fan of the subscription-based programs, but the reason the Adobe Suite as a subscription-based program is good is because After Effects on its own before subscription-based was extremely expensive, and that's all you and buying the Master Collection, like the whole thing in one solid payment, was crazy expensive. So at least this gives you access to all the programs for, I think it's around about $700 a year. Which seems like a lot of money, and it is, but you break that up over 12 months and you get all these different programs. It's not that bad. Whoop Whoop Vacation. I have not seen your name in the comments for a very long time, dude. He was actually the winner of, I think it was the 10K competition? Correct me if I'm wrong there, dude. Did I watch your Savitar and Team Flash SFX remastering? Look, Dan, I probably did. I've watched all of your videos. Shweezy, I haven't had a chance to check my email this morning because I've been on stream, but I will check it today. Ori Sadan says, hi, I love your videos so much. You really do have the best tutorials on YouTube. Plus, you're funny as hell. Can you give advice on how to improve a video quality of scene-wise as a beginner? The best advice I can give to anyone who's a beginner getting into filmmaking is shot setup. I notice a lot of people, when they first start out, their shot setup is not that great. And by that I mean how you frame your shot. So you might have a back and forth between two people, and a lot of people will shoot like this. This will be a shot. So they're having a conversation with someone, and the other person isn't in the shot, but it's this straight on, off to the side shot where they're talking. What they're saying, well, how are you today? And then it'll cut back to another person that's sitting like this and saying, I'm good, how are you? My best advice is to look at how films and TV shows set up their shots and frame their shots and ape that as best you can until you get to a point where you're comfortable and you say, yep, look, this is how I want to frame my shot. So it's essentially fake it till you make it. And I'd also say, get yourself one of those Gorilla Pod things, because a lot of us are working in small rooms and they take up very little room. So your traditional tripod might take up a lot of room. Those Gorilla Pod things, you can stick them on a shelf and just sort of manipulate the legs, and you can set a shot up really easily that way. No, Dracky, I've not seen BBC Sherlock. Now, Max Parker and Luke Blatt, I'll just say that my primary job is I am a stay-at-home dad. So I do YouTube part-time. So I look after Dexter day in, day out. And I do the YouTube stuff in the tiny little window that I get to do it. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. I mean, I've drunk nearly this entire damn thing. Now, okay, Dexter's in what I call phase 1 when he wakes up. Phase 1 is him just sitting in bed, playing with his hair or playing with one of his toys, still laying down and talking. You can hear him right now in the background. Phase 2 is him actually getting up and just sitting up in bed and talking very, very loudly. That's when I've got to go and get him. Galahad asks, what kind of light setup do you recommend for beginners? Now, I will say that grab yourself a couple of these bad boys. Okay, this is the Aperture Amaran H198. And that is just an LED light that's controllable on the outside. It's totally dimmable. But these are fantastic lights, and they run about $80. And that's a professional grade light, and that's probably the cheapest professional light you're going to get. Now, our Crimson Wren has asked, does Dexter have a favorite superhero? He only can say one superhero name, and that's Batman. And he says it as Ant-Man. So, yes, he's a fan of Batman. I've been trying to get him to say Shazam for the last couple of days. I've been teaching him that, just so I can actually get him to say it. But it's not going to happen. It sort of sounds really, really bad. Shweezy asked, how is it possible to get those bird perspective shots without a drone? It is not. I've got to actually talk about that a little bit more, but there are websites where you can buy those shots. And a lot of those shots, like if you've ever watched Gotham, every time they cut to the city, that is just stock footage that they've layered some smoke on top of. That's one thing I've noticed when I started rewatching Gotham, is that they use a lot of fog machines. Like, there's a lot of steam in every one of those city shots. Like, a lot. Sammy Diaz is like, use a ladder. If he's talking about a bird perspective shot, that's going to be one hell of a big ladder. Yes, Dan, I don't know what happened with that the third stream we did on Friday. It just never uploaded, but this one will archive. I guarantee that, because the last one we did archive as well. Stover Film says, how do you make your download packs? Let's... What? Max Parker said, my dad just texted me. He was in an elevator with Samuel L. Jackson a few minutes ago at work. That's awesome. A controlling element effect, like water controlling and so on. Like our Avatar sort of stuff. Yeah, maybe. We might be able to do something like that. I'm not sure. Look at Blyat says you should do your VFX for more things than YouTube. If I had the time to do that, dude, I would. Honestly. I'm going to ignore that, Shwizzy. Because I know you're trolling me. Yeah, just bear with me, guys. I don't have 3DS and I don't do anything with Fume effects. Sorry, Shivy. Supergirl Freeze Breath. I haven't watched Supergirl, so I don't know what that looks like. Okay, Dexter's just asking for a drink of water, guys. So what I'm going to do is, because we've been going for nearly 90 minutes now, I think I'm going to close this one out. My original idea was to just do this for like half an hour, so we've gone for well over twice that. So I think D108 Studios asks, am I Russian? Do I sound Russian in any way, shape or form? I don't know how many Russians you've heard, but Russians don't talk like this, dude. I am Australian. Were you into archery when you started your channel? No, dude, not at all. Yes, I'm pretty sure that I am a Russian posing an Australian. Do not tell the rest of them, comrade. It's our secret, eh? No. Lone Archer's been around since... Lone Archer Films has been a thing since I was 16 years old. And significantly fatter. Oh, thank you very much, Seb. No, I haven't seen Juvenile yet. I'm very good at Russian. What about German? Oh, I can say a couple of things in German. Ah, was machst du dieses Wochenende? Dude, trust me, I wasn't thick. I was fat as hell. Like double my body weight now, and that's how fat I was. Apparently Justin said, hi, I didn't like Venom. Look, I didn't like a lot of stuff in there as well. Primarily Michelle Williams, and that's not a blight on her as an actress. I just thought she was terribly miscast there. She had zero chemistry with with Tom Hardy. Okay. We've just had a super chat that says, can you stroke your dog for me, please? Well, let's see if we can give him a couple of pats, okay? Hey, Donnie. April, are you awake? Peggy. Okay, come on. Up. There you go. Peg can come over. Druggy says, if you can speak German, can you speak Dutch too? No idea. I don't think I've heard any Dutch. In high school, we were taught a little bit of Italian and a little bit of German. That's why I know some German. I also know a very tiny bit of Indonesian. Wait a minute, Drucky. What does the last word say? What does that mean? because that sounds like I'm saying hi, I am something. Dan's asking if I know to speak any Spanish. Look, I'll just say bueno. Muy bueno. Stover did ask how you make your download packs. Well, I make them after... It depends what download pack you're actually talking about, dude, but I just develop them from scratch generally. And then I just upload them to Mediafire and then put them on the Film Learnin website. Oh, okay. Dear, I thought you were going to bed. Shivy says, can you tell us where you buy your equipments from? It depends on what you're actually talking about, because I get my stuff from a whole bunch of different places. So that that light was from a place called Gorilla Gear, but that's an Australian place thing. Hang on, can you see what Don's doing? Can I make a CGI crowd effect? You know what? Probably. I just... Dexter wants to get up. So, guys, we might come back for a stream tomorrow morning. I'm not sure about that. Assassinator says pizza time. Now, if we're going to talk... If we're saying pizza time, I'm assuming that he's talking about the NES arcade game. And then... or just the Ninja Turtles arcade game. And then it was pizza time. Like that. Syria Pagu. I'm not going to bother saying your last name, dude, because I'm going to butcher it. I'll just say, yes, we are working on a Superman effect. Okay? So. Oh, God, he's talking about Pizza Parker. I'm not paying for those. We are going to do some more we're going to do a few Superman effects. It's just I'll get the Shazam one out of the way, and then I'll figure out what I'm doing next. If anyone can hear, Dexter is currently singing the alphabet. Shweezy, the flash ring. I actually bought a flash ring from Wish.com. I also bought a Green Lantern ring and some web shooters. So we've got plenty of stuff that's coming up. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to end the Film Learnin live show for now because Dexter is starting to talk quite a lot, and that's phase 2 of him waking up, which means I've got to get him up and yeah. I've got to do that very, very soon. Otherwise, this is not going to end well for me. So, thanks very much for everyone coming out again to our live show. Hopefully, I can get that Shazam effect shot today. And then hopefully in the next 2 days, I will have that out to you. It's not a complicated effect. It's essentially just blending 2 different shots together. I've already created the lightning as a frame-by-frame animation. But I will hit up the guys at Action VFX and see if I can get you guys a free dust wave element. But thank you very much, everyone, for coming out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on so you don't miss a single Film Learnin episode and live stream. And please consider pledging to the Patreon and hitting that join button. And once again, guys, if you haven't entered the 100k short film competition, head to filmlearnin.com, click on the 100k button, download the entry pack, and you've got less than a month to get your film in, and you'll be in the running for $3,500 worth of prizes from our sponsors, Action VFX, Filmstro, School of Motion, Grayscale Gorilla, and Boris Effects. So, guys, thanks very much. And I will... He's kind of talking over me. Thanks very much for coming out, and keep learning.